A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a striking display of political dissent, Scotland has erupted in protests as former President Donald Trump embarks on a golf trip at his Turnberry course. While Trump indulges in his favorite pastime, demonstrators across the country are voicing their discontent over his presence and the perceived complicity of UK leaders. On Saturday, July 26, 2025, Trump was seen playing golf alongside his son, Eric, and U.S. Ambassador to Britain, Warren Stevens, at the historic Turnberry course, which the Trump family acquired in 2014. Security measures were notably stringent, with protesters kept at a distance during Trump's round of golf. The former president, clad in black and sporting a white USA cap, was observed driving a golf cart as he played through the course. After completing 9 holes and taking a lunch break, he returned to the course for another round before security personnel began to leave, indicating the conclusion of his golfing activities for the day. Meanwhile, in Edinburgh, approximately 160 kilometers away, hundreds of demonstrators gathered outside the U.S. consulate, expressing their disapproval of Trump's visit. Speakers at the protest criticized Prime Minister Keir Starmer for a recent trade deal that, according to them, appeases Trump and undermines British interests. The protests, organized by a coalition of environmental activists, anti-war advocates, and pro-Ukraine groups, have been dubbed the Stop Trump Coalition. Organizer Anita Badani described the demonstrations as a carnival of resistance, highlighting the diverse motivations behind the protests. Among the crowd was June Osborne, a dual U.S.-British citizen, who donned a red cloak reminiscent of The Handmaid's Tale and held a sign depicting Trump with the word "resist" stamped across his face. Osborne articulated her belief that Trump's influence has been detrimental worldwide, stating, "I think there are far too many countries that are feeling the pressure of Trump, and they feel that they have to accept him. We should not accept him here." The protests were not as large as those seen during Trump's first term in office in 2018, but they nonetheless conveyed a strong message of opposition. "Chants of Trump out" echoed through the streets, accompanied by homemade signs reading, "No red carpet for dictators" and "Stop Trump. Migrants welcome." One particularly poignant sign, held by a dog, proclaimed, "No treats for tyrants." The atmosphere was charged with a sense of urgency as demonstrators expressed their frustration not only with Trump, but also with UK ministers for their perceived pandering to the former president. Despite Trump's Scottish roots, his late mother, Mary Ann MacLeod, was born on the Isle of Lewis. Many Scots view him as a disgrace. Mark Gorman, a 63-year-old Edinburgh resident, articulated this sentiment, stating, "The vast majority of Scots have this sort of feeling about Trump that, even though he has Scottish roots, he's a disgrace." As the protests unfolded, some far-right supporters took to social media to call for gatherings in support of Trump, particularly in Glasgow. However, the overwhelming sentiment among demonstrators was one of resistance. Trump's visit also includes discussions on trade with Prime Minister Starmer and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, but golf remains a major focus of the trip. The Trump family is expected to visit another Trump-owned course near Aberdeen before returning to Washington on Tuesday. During their time in Scotland, they will cut the ribbon on a new second course, set to open to the public next month. This marks the first deal between the U.S. and one of its trading partners since Trump's controversial Liberation Day. Tariffs reshaped global trade dynamics. Scottish First Minister John Swinney, who is set to meet with Trump, announced that public funds would be allocated to host the 2025 Nexo Championship at Trump's first course near Aberdeen. Swinney emphasized the importance of golf events in boosting tourism and the economy. As the protesters continue to rally against Trump's visit, Scottish MP Maggie Chapman addressed the crowd, stating, "We stand in solidarity, not only against Trump, but against everything he and his politics stand for." The former president's aspirations for Turnberry to host the British Open remain unfulfilled, and his visit has reignited debates about his legacy and the implications of his policies on both sides of the Atlantic. As the sun sets over Scotland, the tension between the former president's supporters and detractors remains palpable, underscoring the deep divisions that continue to characterize contemporary politics on a global scale. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.